Hey guys, welcome back to Skylanders Ring of Heroes. In this video, we're going to be doing the first two guild bosses of our guild boss series. I'll see how it works, just because of time. I don't really have time to make the uploads, but I do have time just to get the quick recordings in. So I might start grouping them in groups of 2 or 3, or if I can, I'll do a single one and upload it. But we'll just do the best we can. This one's going to be the Dr. Crank and the Pinata, the Mech and the Magic bosses. Now I've already recorded the run-throughs and the explanations of what I do and all that sort of thing. It's just that when I recorded the intro, it was like 4 a.m. in the morning and I hadn't got my voice back yet, so it was croaky as heck. So unfortunately for the run-through of Dr. Crank, you're going to get the croaky voice, but I just thought I'd give you a pleasant intro. And the one thing I wanted to cover before we get into it is my Whirlwind. We finally awakened the Whirlwind, so I sort of got to the stage where I did everything I could with her, and I got, the B10 3-star, which is what I was really aiming for. And after that, I decided, let's awaken her and test her at her full potential and see what she can do. So I'll do a lot more testing with her. It did give that extra tankiness, get a bit of extra AoE damage. But yeah, I'll do a full review on her later down the track after I do some more testing. But yeah, besides that, we'll get into the bosses now. With the bosses, what I'll do is I'll give you my summary before I attack them, the sort of things I think about using in your team. Then we'll attack them, and then we'll go over a bit of a debrief on what happened in the attack, and then what after doing the actual battle, how I would have changed my team to try and do better. So, like these things are still very early, so there'll still be more progressions of these sorts of videos to go. But a lot of people just wanted an early sort of rough idea on what I'm doing against these invasion bosses, so that's why we're doing them. Also, let me know in the comments if you are enjoying these videos, if you want me to keep doing them, or if you think they'll get tedious, because I wasn't too sure going into it. A few people have asked, so we've made this first one. But yeah, definitely let me know. So here we go, onto the Dr. Crank. We'll go in, we'll look at his skills and stuff, and then we'll talk about some units that I reckon would be good to use if you've built them up. And then we'll just do the run using what units I do actually have. So his first skill, active skill, poisons by chance at one enemy. Not too bad, not too much to worry about. Second skill is one that really annoys me. It's unrecoverable buff to 2 enemies. The reason this one really annoys me is because I use Whirlwind as my healer. It doesn't really matter who you use as your healer, it's really annoying. Whirlwind does semi-cleanse, reduce debuff counts by 3, but unfortunately she does that after she applies the HP regen. So when I use this, it'll cleanse the debuff, but it won't actually heal. It won't apply the regen. As opposed to if they put heal reduction on, it's normally okay with Whirlwind because she'll put the regen on, which will land because it's only heal reduction, and then she will cleanse it. So the heal block is a real tricky one for me, but we are running Broccoli Guy as well, so at least whoever is really low, if Whirlwind cleanses, Broccoli Guy is then free to heal. Other way around, if Broccoli Guy heals, Whirlwind is then free to apply the heal as well. We jump over here into his next active attack. It's an AoE attack down, so once again, a cleanse is really nice. So the Whirlwind just fits this well. Unfortunately, like I said, with that heal block, it does make things a bit difficult. And the biggest issue on this boss is his charge skill. And if you look at the, it's only one enemy, but it's endurance minus 30. So he is knocking down an enemy. So with this guy, it's sort of, a lot of the bosses are massive AoE. He's more single target focused with his charge skill. Some mitigation is really nice too on this one. If we look into interrupts, because interrupts are going to be good in all of these bosses. I haven't actually built any interrupters yet, so I'm not using it. But one for this one with elemental advantage is the Zook. I probably wouldn't recommend using it. Zook could probably fill the role of your main damage dealer and your disruptor, but a 5-mana disrupt is just really expensive to me. And I haven't really tested Zook's damage too much, but you can pair it with a charge skill to sort of get some mana efficiency out of it. But I don't think many people will have him built. The one that I do recommend as the interrupter for this one, and it's pretty much the one I'll recommend for almost every one of these when he doesn't have elemental disadvantage, is going to be the Gilgrunt. He's just got a really cheap disrupt. He's got good self synergy with the freeze, 50% chance to freeze, and then he can use this disrupt, freeze someone, and then hopefully get the heal. His freeze isn't too reliable, so bringing him into freeze team on Fire and Magic Day would be really optimal. But once again, just if you really want a disruptor, you can test out Gilgrunt, build him a little, because the disrupt really helps. Keep in mind that it does require effect accuracy because they can resist a disrupt. Also, something when I've been testing, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm fairly certain the disrupts you can cast the disrupt after they finish charging and it'll still take their skill out of queue. I'm pretty sure I saw that last time on my soft launch account because I use a Cinder. And I'm pretty sure against the Golden Queen, I actually disrupted her after she'd finished charging. I haven't used too many disrupts, so I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me, but I will do more testing on that and get back to you guys. And like I said, with Cinder, she is another really good disruptor that I really like. She's not farmable, so a lot of people won't have her, but if you did get lucky, summon a bunch of shards for her, she's got a 1 mana disrupt, which is really nice on a 10-second cooldown. So very easy to squeeze in anywhere in your team. And her second skill, even though it is 6 mana, it does scale up to be 4 mana, and it does a good chunk of damage. So she is a really nice unit that I do enjoy. And like I said, if you have summoned a lot of shards for her, I definitely do recommend just using them and getting her as high as you can, because she's a great unit. But yeah, there are a few other disruptors. We've got like Chopper, but I'm not even going to cover Chopper really until Fire and Magic, which is the next one after this. So he does look like Chopper is one I'd kind of like. His passive's really nice, and if you're using him as a damage dealer with the disrupt, then he might be good. But anything that he's not elemental advantage with, I just wouldn't even bother. But yeah, those are the main disruptors. As for units that would be really nice for this guild invasion, I'd definitely say that Food Fight would be one that is huge, especially if you're bringing a cleanser with it, even if you're not, because the way Food Fight works with his, what we'll do is we'll just put him in here and check his skills. So that first skill awakens to be when he does apply the target, it gets another attack and applies for 2 more turns, so it becomes a 4-turn target. Obviously, when anyone attacks that the target with target, they get the whole team gets healed, so it will chew through the turns on that heal block really fast, and then you'll get back into healing. I feel like, and Food Fight has elemental advantage. I feel like he would be a great option for this. If I actually had him, I'd probably just go with Stealth Elf, Food Fight, and Whirlwind just to try and get as much sustain out of my team as possible. But he's the main unit I do think that would be really, really good for this as a farmable unit. Into my team, what I'm just going to use is what you see here. I did consider doing the Wham Shell. If I did Wham Shell, I'd probably go with Stealth Elf Skill 1 and Skill 2. Because I'm going to go Boomer for the attack buff, plus his second skill always does good damage even if he's neutral element. I decided to go with that for Boomer and test Stealth Elf with the Stealth to try and have another way to cleanse that attack break and the heal block, because you know, attack break's never nice, so you want to have that cleansed as much as possible. I do lose out on the defense buff mitigation, but I'm hoping whoever he hits, whoever he's going to target with his charge skill will be the target that has been the lowest already. Hopefully get a defense buff with either the Whirlwind or the Broccoli guy and see how we go. So this is a fresh test for me. Last time I did just use Stealth Elf with skill 1 and 2 because I didn't have the cleanse on Stealth, but we'll see how we go nonetheless. So we'll jump into it and let's do it. Here we go. Take auto off straight away. Alright, so we'll get that attack buff. We'll charge up. We'll put some bombs on. We'll go into stealth and do that one. Just doing stealth to get the extra crit chance this early on. So what we might do is we'll proc that. We'll get that up so we get the heal rolling when he does attack someone and knock them down. Wow, that hit super hard. That hit way harder than I was expecting. Get the Broccoli guy out, see if we can't get a heal. Oh man, he has absolutely chewed through that. He's absolutely destroyed that. Okay, that's alright. We're actually at good damage, so that's probably why he did so much early on. If I probably would have held out on damage, it would have been a little bit better. But we'll see how we go. So this is really hurting. If we can get the Stealth Elf into stealth and then get another attack, we'll actually get decent damage. I'm not too disappointed in 55k damage at this stage. Like I said, that boss did hit like an absolute truck. So that was a quick fight. That was over really quick. Maybe we did need that defense mitigation. However, I feel like our damage got really high really quick, so maybe I should have held out and kept him on lower damage done to get that first charge skill to do less damage. That might be a strategy. But yeah, I mean, 55k isn't too bad. Like, that was just a go in there and train him. The Whirlwind actually soaked up a fair few attacks, which is really nice to let the other two keep doing damage. I feel like if you would use those attacks on Boomer, he would have been done in 2 seconds. But yeah, see how you guys go. Also, don't forget to leave your strategies. If you've gotten good scores and you got good strategies, leave them in the comments below, because this is still something fairly fresh to most of us. We've only tried it a couple of times, so I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. But next one up is going to be the Pinata. So after watching that battle over again, I definitely think that I'm going to actually start slowly building my Gilgrunt. I just feel like interrupts, especially in that one, if I interrupted him a fair bit, it would have been really helpful. And a lot of these bosses, just their charge skill just demolishes people. So I'm just going to use what shards I have. Like, I've got 575, so I think I'll get Gilgrunt pretty high. And I'll just test him out with the disrupt in basically all of them that he's not elemental disadvantage to, so not life and earth, but all the other ones, because I think it can really help mitigate that damage. I think what I'll do is I'll just get him to 5-star or whatever I can get him to, and then just put him on some tanky sort of runes, but maybe even put an effect accuracy on slot 4. I'm not too sure whether I will, unless I can get some effect accuracy substats and some focus sets, just because you really, like, if I'm bringing him to disrupt, I really want him to disrupt. So that's something I'm going to probably work over for the next week. But nonetheless, we'll keep working on to the next boss, and that is the Pinata. So Pinata is the one that I think everyone remembers. He just hits like a truck with his charge skill. So it's an AoE, and it does massive damage. But he's also got this one. Slams down giant lollipop on an enemy, gains attack up. So it's a single target attack, 4 endurance, and it gives himself attack up. He's got a stun on a single target attack, which is also annoying. So a strip and a cleanse would be really nice on this. The cleanse, not so much. It's a stun, and they're normally going fairly quick. But he breaks out a dance to stun all enemies and gains crit rate up. Once again, if he's going to stun all enemies, the thing that gets me here is that the stun isn't in red, so I'm not sure if that actually applies. Whether it is actually a stun effect, I can't remember from last time I did it, so we'll wait and see. If it is, then cleanse is definitely important, but also grants crit rate up. So he's got crit rate up and he's got attack up, which really does hurt your team when he's doing the damage, especially with this charge skill. So obviously, like I said, I would absolutely love to have a Gilgrunt built for this guy, interrupt him, and I keep saying interrupt, I know it's disrupt, but it's the World of Warcraft coming out in me, but just keep disrupting him, and then you should survive pretty well. A strip would be really nice for this one, but for me, my only stripper is Kaboom, and he is unruined at the moment. So a common team from units that people normally have built, I'd be looking at something like this. I'd be looking at a Kaboom, a support type Kaboom, with like a Boomer and a Wham Shell, just for the common units that people do have built, because that way you've got the attack break, you've got the strip. Kaboom is so good for that sort of thing. Like, even if you swapped 1 or 2 runes on him just to give him more tankiness so that he could survive better, just for this purpose, like, it would cost you, what, like 30,000 gold or something like that. But if you could swap a couple runes around just to get that working for you, then I think it would be fantastic, because the strip and attack break really, really will help. Once again, you don't have a healer in this comp, which kind of sucks, but my only healer is the Whirlwind, and the Whirlwind is going to struggle against this boss. Although, just because I don't have any other options, I might actually still bring that Whirlwind and just see if it does help out. But besides that, I could bring my Stealth Elf and push for more damage, but the thing is, if we push the damage early, he's just going to one-shot everything anyway. So my idea will be to try and use Whirlwind to get through, and I know Whirlwind sounds weird, but I did use Whirlwind against Chef Pepperjack and got over 100k on that one, so she's pretty tanky, so I feel like she will be able to do the job decently. So what my plan is to get the mitigation up, to get the attack break and the defense buff from Wham Shell, obviously push the damage with Boomer, and survive the first charge skill from the boss, And then after that, I'm going to try and just basically do as much damage and get through as much as I can. When I do see him charging is when I will use Wham Shell's second skill. He doesn't have the best effect accuracy, so if it doesn't land, I don't want to be spamming it. So that's what I'm really going to go for. Then this way I've also got the cleanse for the stuns. And unfortunately I don't have the strip, but we'll see how we go. Like I said, I feel like Kaboom would be a better option than Whirlwind in this one, but we'll see how the Whirlwind goes. So here we go. Gotta remember to take. I wish these invasions would always start off of auto. Okay, so we'll go attack buff into bombs, into defense buff, and we'll start charging the heal here. And what we'll do after that is, now he's charging, we'll go for the armor break. We'll start rolling the heal just so it's gonna tick as he attacks. That's good. We survived pretty well. The heal is ticking now, so we're looking pretty good on that front. Charging up the heal again. Get the defense buff, put the broccoli guy out, get the regen going again. We actually missed that from the knockdown, so this is going to actually hurt us a lot, I think, because I don't think we'll get the charge ready again, but we can try. We can see how we go. So as soon as he starts charging again, that is when I will use the Wham Shells. Oh man, the stun's really hurting. Okay, so let's try and get the attack break on. We missed it, unfortunately. So this is going to really hurt, but oh, we did get that. If Wham Shell survives, if anyone survives here, it means we're going to get through a little bit more because we do have the regen. So we're at 49,000, which I'm actually pretty happy with on this boss considering I didn't have the interrupt. Like I said, Gill Grunt would be perfect for this, just to get those interrupts and stop that AoE damage. As you can see, even with the defense buff, if I had have landed the attack break, I feel like we could have actually got a bit further with the boomer as well, because if he would have survived, then we probably could have got to about 60k or something like that, but that's the way it goes. But hopefully we can, no, we're done. So that's that 50k. So 50k, not too bad. That's sort of like the average for the, like half of the bosses, and then the other half you can sort of push the 100k. The ones that do that really big one shot are a bit tougher. But like I said, I definitely think an optimal team for that would involve the Gill Grunt. With those two units, because a Gill Grunt instead of the Whirlwind, Gill Grunt still has the heal. The cleanse isn't too vital from what I saw there. The AoE he didn't do the stun. The active AoE, not the charge skill. Obviously that doesn't stun. But I didn't see the stun off the normal AoE, and I just feel like the cleanse wasn't needed. Like I said, if I used the Kaboom, I would have had the strip, but I don't think it would have worked as well as the Gill Grunt. So if you're like a standard sort of progression player, I'd say go the Wham Shell, the Kaboom, and the Boomer. And if you're doing the idea of building the Gill Grunt, that's what I'd throw him in instead of the Kaboom, just because that interrupt is just, honestly, it stops all the damage basically. You will survive for ages. Plus, if you get lucky with some of the freeze procs from the passive of Gill Grunt, you'll still end up healing your team along with the broccoli guy and keep your team alive. So I feel like that is really the comp you want to go for on that boss with the Gill Grunt. But if you're like me, I'd probably look at starting to build your Gill Grunt just with all the shards that you already have, because like I've got 575 from Wishstone Summon, so they gather up pretty quick. So we'll see how far we can get him with that. So that's going to be it for these first two Guild Invasion bosses. We didn't set any records. I wish I had have recorded the first two of the week because I did really well on those, but we'll keep it going and we'll get back around to them. So thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one, guys. Cheers.